One of the things that I recently learned about this is there is some disgusting ass people in today's society that take a photo of somebody's product behind these doors and then they turn around and illegally sell the item for an illegal profit, sometimes without the freaking consent of their original, content creator or artist, and they make money illegally off of the items. And I didn't even know that was a thing. I didn't even know we had some disgusting ass forgery type stuff that goes on where people are forging illegal copies of other people's artwork and then turning around and selling them as a profit. So all I gotta say is, I was in the wrong and these people were right. And I didn't even know that was a fucking thing a couple years ago. Right past these doors is the vendor section. I'm not filming in here, so I'm cutting the cameras off. And we'll see you guys in like an hour.
And I kept true to my word. As soon as I entered that door frame, I shut all the cameras off. I'm not even hiding anything. I literally shut all the freaking cameras off as soon as I went right through that door frame. I pulled out my wallet and I started throwing money at all these vendors. Not literally throwing money at them. But I did keep to my promise about not doing anything stupid like I did a few years ago. And guess what? I kept to that promise. I'm literally being dead ass serious. I'm not even hiding any extra footage. Right when I passed these door frames, I immediately shut off the camera system and went back to being a regular customer. I'm not even fucking lying.
That's awesome.
Before heading off for the event, I just wanted to do a recap and look back at some of the greatest moments during the 10-year anniversary. And I will go ahead and give a disclaimer. I did do and say some things in 2022 that was not professional of me. So much misleading, so much of the staff jumping my fucking case. Fucking COVID-19 restrictions, you fucking name it, dude. I honestly don't know if I'd be back. Honestly, if I had to say so myself, I might be heading to Seattle next. I don't know if I'm going to attend another year here. If I had to say so myself, this is speaking from future me and not past me, if I could ever go back in time, I would beat the fuck out of my old self for everything that I've ever said about this event. Like, I would literally beat the shit out of my old self for this. Because, going back in time through all this footage, I fucking hate all the garbage that comes flying out of my mouth just because a few years ago, just because I was just going through the worst times possible. I fucking hate it. And you know what? I'm also going to say this. I'm also glad that the organizers have forgiven me for everything I ever said back then, because this is unacceptable behavior for myself, and I fucking hate every single thing that I've ever said that came flying out of my mouth years ago. It was unprofessional of me, it was unwelcome, and you know what? It was intolerable. I was a dickhead. I was a stupid idiot. Before heading off to the event next month and some of the footage from last year, there was another event that we went to before we came back to California last year. And it was Everfree Northwest 2023 with 6 of the lead Netflix voice actors of Make Your Mark, in which we had some of the greatest experiences happen.
I can't believe it.
Some of them even still living with me to this day that I wish I can go back and experience those moments again.
I was actually sitting at the same table with all these Netflix celebrities having coffee and dinner with them, dude.
During the time frame of the event, I, yet again, wanted to apologize because there was some things that I should have just shut the fuck up about.
Because last year in California, I got lied to, I got treated like shit. I was looking forward to a lot of events that never happened. I was pissed off, I was slamming doors, I was getting mildly irritated to the point where I tried to go home early. I didn't want to be there last year. I skipped over that event this year, I go to a different one. And everything that I was hoping on happening actually happened.
It wasn't just the event that some unfortunate things happened. In the years following the event, I was going through a lot of just stressful situations. I was literally one phone call away from landing up in a mental institution or ending up in jail or severely injuring myself. My Nana had passed away in 2020. She was, I guess, sick from COVID, died in her sleep. And then we had issues with law enforcement, a car that was going through parts every single week. The delivery company wasn't really paying out much of any money to be very supportive of this event. And I just was going through the worst times imaginable. And to top it all off, in 2018, Regal Cinemas had gotten bought out by some new CEOs. And the new CEOs that took over the place, they do not give a fuck about anybody. They started threatening people with disabilities to quit their jobs. They started attacking the general manager that I was working with that had a mouth to feed, you know, a newborn kid. Basically, they were telling him to fuck off and you don't belong. I will go ahead and take some full responsibility ahead of time that I did say some things a few years ago that I never meant. I was just going through a very rough time. And, yeah, I wanted to do a live reaction to some of the greatest moments from last year. So we're going to go back through some of the great times, and I'm even going to fill you guys in on some missing details.
And now today is the day that we start getting ready to head out for San Francisco. And, we pulled a lot of strings. We made a lot of phone calls. We made a lot of apologies. We contributed thousands of dollars. We're bringing in a lot of items for the charities, the staff members, the other attendees, free items for the table today. And let's just hope everything goes well.
After a 2-hour layover, it's finally almost time. I guess here we come, San Francisco. A very long, tiring here we come. So just some advice to any fellow travelers out there. We are never landing in Arizona again. Sky Harbor International Airport is a fucking joke. So we were supposed to leave Arizona at 8:45 in the morning, but instead we were on delay until 10:18 to San Francisco. And apparently there was a radio traffic controller issue in San Francisco International preventing a 2-hour delay. Now, it's not because of the flight delay that happened, but the amount of times we had gotten fucked over in Arizona during our way back to the Bay Area, I've decided that enough was enough with that airport. So, on the way to San Francisco, we had a 2-hour delay because of a flight control issue. But on the way back from San Francisco, one of these people from Southwest didn't even bother scanning in my luggage tag or loading it on the correct flight. So you have this whole suitcase full of 10-year anniversary goods from California that went fucking missing for 6 hours. Now, Southwest did compensate for the damages, which was the 6-hour delay, but they never compensated for the 2-hour delay because of the air traffic controller issue. When I was in Arizona during the layover, the whole airport was fucking empty. Like, I feel like you'd have more foot traffic going somewhere in Japan than you would in Arizona.
Alright, Golden Gates. You wanted me to come back to your event. It is time for me to come back to your event. I've been gone 2 years. I missed that last year. It's time Daddy comes home with the milk and the cigarettes. Because here I come, bitch.
Alright.
The reason there was a giant jump cut there from being on a plane to being at the hotel, and I will apologize in advance, because of the whole 2-hour layover in Arizona, specifically Sky Harbor International, both my phone and my battery pack were completely dead. So by the time I had gotten to San Francisco, the hotel was ready before we even got there. So I was at San Francisco International with nothing besides a 9% battery left. And when it goes to 9%, or at least anywhere below 15%, it doesn't save any of the videos. It doesn't save any of the photos. And it's like a gamble to try to, conserve as much battery power as possible, or just snap in a few photos and just hope that the device saves it, or it's just completely gone into the void. So the reason that there's a huge jump cut between the plane and the hotel was because my phone was at 9% that day, and I was still trying to find where my luggage was, trying to keep an eye out for the shuttle bus, everything. And yeah, we were off to a very rough start that day because of what happened in Arizona. But at least the event got better. And when I mean the event got better, I mean it got way better. There was no COVID-19 regulations. We weren't treated differently, pushed around, lied to, misinformation, the whole 9 yards like we dealt with 2-3 years ago. This was a very productive year, and you know what, honestly, I'm going to say this right up. It was a good call coming back. Even though, you know, I said I honestly don't know if I'd be back a few years ago. Coming back last year was actually the greatest call of coming back.
So in an hour and a half, we will be doing day 0 here at the 10-year anniversary of Bay Area Spectacular. It feels so weird being back at this hotel nearly 2 years later since we were last here. Look at this, dude! Holy shit!
The reason I had gotten very excited about this part is this is the top of the line $3,000 sponsorship that the event in California had to offer. And the reason that I threw about $3,000 on the table was because this event was going through a massive financial situation. And I had busted my balls trying to help these guys, you know, trying to get more people through the door, you know, financial issues and just being very supportive. And when I heard about the news that there was a massive $50,000 financial situation in 2023, I literally said to myself, oh, fuck no, this is not happening. That $3,000 I probably could have used on my pre-existing financial situations. But then again, I wanted to help out a struggling nonprofit organization. And you know what's even funnier is after we came back to California last year, in 2023, aside from all the, you know, Everfree Northwest stuff, 2023 was the stupidest year of assholes I've ever seen in this entire state. You had state police officers that were trafficking child porn and methamphetamines and marijuana and causing DWI charges. You had a movie theater that was involved in an active shooting. You had some kid at my job that caused property damage. This right here was also another thing of saying, you know what? Fuck the people in this state. I'm offshoring the money to some people that can really use it.
It's so freaking... It's... Oh my god. I fucking love it.
And yes, you guys can tell by my excitement that I was very excited to finally get my hands on one of these. In 2022, there was a plushie with a light up National Air and Space Association helmet. It was like the sickest thing I've ever seen. Unfortunately, I didn't make enough money to get one of those that year because, like I said, that was the year where, you know, my Nana passed away, the delivery service, you know, Regal Cinemas telling people to fuck off. So I was kind of bummed out that I missed out on that. And Nostalgia Edition in 2023, I wasn't present for the event because I needed some time away, so I went to the event in Seattle instead. So when I came back last year to bust my balls to help these guys out with getting out of a miserable situation that nobody should ever ask for, I was freaking excited to finally get my hands on one of these after so many tries. And even a year later, it is still one of my personal favorites.
Blake Chandler can go fuck himself. He ain't got nothing on this. I can see why now they're expanding all over the fucking place now, man. Dude, yeah. Now they got some supposedly in Albuquerque now that they're gonna try to open up.
When we went to In-N-Out Burgers in Millbrae, which is about 5 to 10 minutes down the road from the Regency, I kid you guys not, we spent $80 at the In-N-Out Burgers in Millbrae that night. We bought like 4 trays of fries, 5 hamburgers, 2 drinks, 2 shirts. We went overboard when we were in San Francisco. This was our only opportunity of heading back to this restaurant that is like world renowned, and we weren't gonna pass up the opportunity of stuffing our fucking faces when we got there. There was no way we were passing up. Call us a nutcase if you will, but we spent like $80 at the fucking In-N-Out that night.
So we're back in California, and day 0 is over. But I'll tell you one thing, though.
No, that was mine. That part was one of my most favorite reactions at the time, because the reason being is only 12 of those plushies are made, and they're very hard to get, by the way. You have to either spend like $3,000 to get one of these plushies, which is $500 itself just to make, or you have to get authorization from the founder to get any of these made. And the reason that I was like, no, that was mine, was like, this was, like I said, the first ever time that I ever got a chance to take home one of these and hold one of these. It was a fucking life-changing experience. It was really cool to finally land up where we can finally take home one of these. And I know like $3,000 is a lot of money, but you also got to take in consideration that this event was going through a lot of financial situation, and I wasn't going to sit there with my fucking dick in my hand doing nothing about it.
I'm sorry, Goldie, I didn't mean to do that. This $3,000 badge, that's all metal and has our name all over it and everything. We pulled a lot of strings to get this thing.
So here's an interesting fact. This single frame right here was probably about 5-6 o'clock in the morning. I usually set my alarm for like 5 o'clock in the morning every time we go to these events, so that way I can go take some extra photographs, videographs, whatever. I know I did say videographs and probably doesn't make any sense, but basically providing some extra photography and videography we can work with, just in case we need some extra footage to put in later, or some extra photos to look back at from a good time. So about this time, I think it was like 6 o'clock in the morning, me and the boys, we went down the way to go to a restaurant to find out that the place was not open until 11. But hey, at least it still makes good for some extra photographs and videos.
Oh, fuck. Okay. I'm in the vendor section, and all I'm going to say right now is no, I am not going to be showing any of the vendors for the concerns of their privacy, and I'm going to go ahead and talk about a reason why. So, I didn't even know this until recently some staff members brought it up, but one of the reasons they jumped on my case 2 years ago was because I was filming in the vendor section, and apparently I didn't know we had such disgusting people in the world. But the reason that they were being so protective about the vendor section, especially the 18 plus, is because people take snapshots of somebody else's art and then turn around and illegally reproduce it for a profit. And I didn't even know that that was a fucking thing. So all you're gonna hear in this clip is just audio and no video. And this is the only clip that I'm taking, just to let you guys know the reason why I'm not gonna be filming in the vendor section this year, because, you know, for their privacy and their artwork, as well as the amount of disgusting people in today's society that turn around and forge the artwork illegally, I will be protecting their privacy, but we are in the vendor section right now.
This part right here is something I didn't understand the first time we were there until a member of staff clarified it, and it starts to make a lot more sense. Technically, what people do in a situation like this is they take a photograph of somebody's artwork and then turn around and distribute it illegally to make a profit, which in this sick, twisted world would make a lot of sense. So, yet again, I wanted to apologize for the situation a few years ago. I was unaware of the whole situation where these guys, at least just some random people, they take photos and illegally distribute them. And it wasn't me being an asshole, it was the staff members looking out. And I really wanted to point that out after this, because that was one thing I really didn't understand the first time we were there. But I wanted to give huge props to Ardent for pulling that out. I never even knew that was a thing, that these people do this type of disgusting shit.
Alright, so we got these from the official artist of the event. And this is a little mystery bag, so I wonder what's inside. Artwork.
This is one of the interesting things I wanted to point out. This particular artist has been a very supportive organizer friend of mine for months. She's been helping me out with the unofficial Facebook album. She's been keeping me in the loop with some new artwork. Recently, as of, I think, about a month ago, I just actually filed a commission with her. And usually I'm not interested in doing commissions, but I've seen the type of art that she's done before, and it's absolutely amazing stuff. She is one of the 4 to 5 supportive staff members that we've grown a trustable friendship with ever since we made our return during the event last year. The other ones being the vice chair, the events lead, and maybe even one of the founders.
I don't know what it's supposed to do, but fuck it. We'll find out, won't we? So it's almost time for us to go to the dinner event with Andrea Lippman. And you know what? I'll show you what's new, motherfucker.
This part I wanted to point out because I talked about this recently on my YouTube page. And for whatever reason, I've gotten so much dislikes about it. The reason that I wear suits with fancy clothes to these non-profit organizations is to stand out above everybody else. Like, I'm not going to show up to a VIP dinner event wearing some rinky-dinky ass, stinky ass clothes, looking like a fucking homeless person off of the side of a street. Especially if we're talking, you know, we're sitting there with like a director or comic book artist or a voice actor. There's no fucking way I'm going to sit there with some ugly ass, bum ass clothes when I'm trying to make myself stand out, you know? During this time, we actually did go to the dinner event, which was the first time that we actually got invited to the dinner event in California. The year prior, unfortunately, I didn't see any of the meet and greets happen, even though I had access to it. And in 2023, as I stated previously, I wasn't present for the event for Nostalgia Edition because, you know, I needed a little time away, so I ended up going to Seattle instead. And even in Seattle, we had some of the craziest shit go down with 3 of the lead Netflix voice actors of Maker Mark. It was fucking wild. But for it to actually happen on our first ever return nearly 2 years later just definitely gives a lot of credibility that, yeah, these things do actually happen. And another thing I want to talk about is with wearing suits, I want to stand out above everybody else, especially if we're like helping out kids with cancer or autism, or we're looking professional. I don't want to go showing up to a dinner event looking like an ugly ass bum off the side of a road. Like, bro, like, I put down good money. I help out these organizations. I even help out charity and, you know, these nonprofits. I'm not going to show up like some raggedy ass homeless person fucking going to a free dinner event. Like, fuck that.
I'll show you what the fuck is new!
What the fuck? Bruh. As you all know, we've been gone from the event for a couple of years. And the artwork they went with this year is just too fucking goddamn adorable. And I love it. They decided to do a Willy Wonka themed 10-year anniversary. Just look how fucking nice that artwork looks, man.
This was the first time back at the event in 2 years. And I will give props to every single artist that was involved with the productions of 2024 and 2025. Those 2 were the greatest years I have ever seen some fucking very amazing art. Like, I've never seen such creative talent like what was shown during the 10-year anniversary. Some of the art that was available in California last year is still some of my personal favorites to this day. Like, you can't go wrong with some good art. It's like going to a Vincent van Gogh painting and seeing just it come into life. That's exactly how the fuck this looks. We're literally talking that Midnight Premiere, Fantastic, Gobi Raptor, I think was another one, Blue Feather Cat, all those guys between 2024 and 2025. God bless every single one of you guys' souls. You guys did a freaking amazing job, and, you know, it's a great piece of art. There's just so much great art that went around this year, and it's fucking fantastic. I love this shit.
I'm sorry, but that is both cute, adorable, and a blessing to be back. Yeah, that's where the people, they buy their pornography of their favorite character. That's the spicy zone. Right past these doors is the vendor section. I'm not filming in here, so I'm cutting the cameras off. And we'll see you guys in like an hour.
And I kept true to my word. As soon as I entered that door frame, I shut all the cameras off. I'm not even hiding anything. I literally shut all the freaking cameras off as soon as I went right through that door frame. I pulled out my wallet and I started throwing money at all these vendors. Not literally throwing money at them. But I did keep to my promise about not doing anything stupid like I did a few years ago. And guess what? I kept to that promise. I'm literally being dead ass serious. I'm not even hiding any extra footage. Right when I passed these door frames, I immediately shut off the camera system and went back to being a regular customer. I'm not even fucking lying.
That's awesome. Shit, yeah. Tell me about it. I thought Chris Chan was bad.
Well, I met a dude that draws.
Dude, that reminds me.
That stuff.
Chris Chan's supposed to be here.
No.
Yes.
Yeah, supposedly.
That he was coming to BABSCon.
I would.
Yeah, supposedly there's.
Because he's not like criminally banned unless he does something.
Yeah, apparently there's rumors floating around he's supposed to be here, and already a lot of the staff already know of his suspicious, disgusting behavior.
And apparently Christian Chandler actually did show up to the event. Unfortunately, I don't have any video of it. I don't have any photos of him, or them, I should say, getting removed from the property. There is rumor that they tried to use I think like some type of stereotypical like gender card that they tried to use to bypass the organizers, which didn't quite work out because they still got booted off the property anyways. Like I said, I didn't hear about it. I didn't see it. I'm not too sure of the whole backstory, but it is indeed true that they got evicted from another event.
I had such a fucking blessed time, and we're only halfway through the venue. Like, literally, look at this shit. You guys remember how I talked about contributing $3,000 to a non-profit organization? There's one of these with my name written all over it. I'm one of the 10 royals that busted my ass off to contribute to help these people out. In my own backyard, I deal with a bunch of drug offender police officers that traffic methamphetamines and child pornography, alongside with the fact that my job was involved in an active shooting last year. All that money went to helping these people out.
My camera didn't catch the beginning of the conversation, but the other attendee had asked Andrea Libman if at any point would she be willing to come back to Hasbro to do production for G4. And she ironically said,
"My own pony, if Hasbro ever called you back to do it, or prefer to leave MLP in the past and just let it be what it was and upgrade it."
No, I think it should be resurrected. And
Who here reads the G5 comics?
There we go. Only 1 of 10 of these little fuckers made. And I love the fucking shit out of it. You know? Bay Area 2024 is actually not that bad. I'm actually glad that I came back again. Let me just rip this out of the bag because TSA is gonna be like, oh yeah, there was a bunch of items and bags in your suitcase. Bruh, the government is fucking retarded.
so what led up to this thing after having an enjoyable weekend is Transportation Security Administration. Those stupid fuckers that go through everybody's luggage, they tried to say that there was a lock on my suitcase at the time, which currently didn't have a lock on it, and tried to make some lame-ass excuse saying that they couldn't gain access to my contents. Which is pretty funny because my suitcase had no lock whatsoever, and there was no problem getting into the suitcase for me. I unzipped every goddamn zipper, zipped it back up, rinse and repeat and shit. I had no problems getting into my own suitcase whatsoever. So something is telling me that some stupid fucker at Sunport International, who's most likely an uneducated retard, probably just wasted my fucking time when I got to San Francisco.
Let me show you something, you dumb motherfucker. Do you see any locks anywhere? Do you see any goddamn locks anywhere on these fucking cases? Oh look, there's not one there, there's not one there, there's not one there, there's not one there, and it works perfectly fine, literally. It zips. Zips. And it opens. And it unzips too. Whoever the TSA agent is, the Transportation Security Administration agent that tried to say that my suitcase was locked when I don't even have a lock on it. I'm not even hiding anything in here. I literally have no fucking lock on this suitcase anywhere. Whoever the Transportation Security Administration agent is that tried to say that there was a lock on this suitcase, $50 says he's probably a registered sex offender. I emptied the fuck out of it and I'm taking this wooden box with me back home. About there's a lock on here when there's no locks on a suitcase whatsoever. Yeah, the only lock that's gonna be on here is gonna be the lock on you when I turn you in for being a fucking sex offender. Like I said, I'm not pissed about the event. I had a fucking blessed time this year, dude. Everything went exactly as planned, better than what happened a few years ago. I'm more pissed about that we're hiring a bunch of retarded government workers that can't do shit around this country. Honestly, call me a bitch if you will, but Ellie Ray just made my evening. Literally, look.
To sum up this part, I had gotten a free artwork from the convention store, and Ellie Ray Hennessy was there for the weekend. So I decided to go and get it signed, and as I'm standing in line, she's autographing the back of this artwork, and she provided some very emotional, amazing support. She said something about everybody is supportive about everything that I've ever done for this event and how I belong in this fan base, and everybody is thankful for everything that I've done for this event, which is a huge statement coming from a celebrity, because, you know, I've been told the same thing by, like, all these organizers. The events lead said the same thing, the sponsor lead, the design and publications. A lot of people told me the same exact thing that Ellie Ray Hennessy had told me over the weekend, and I lost all control of my emotional state. And this was probably one of the many few clips that I put into this 3-hour-long video that I couldn't even finish because I was fucking emotional as hell.
Your Magic Bing Bong, Love Eternally, Ellie Ray, Miss Main / Grandma Figgy. And during the whole time during the signing, she was talking about how, you know, and a lot of people are on this venue, they've said that. She was talking about how I'm important in this fandom, and I pulled a lot of, you know, efforts to get back here, and a lot of these people, I can't even speak because I'm like close to fucking tears right now. But a lot of these people, they basically just, I can't even finish the fucking video. That's how emotional it is.
Like I said, dude, I love this artwork, dude. This shit looks so fucking cute. I just want to snuggle the fuck out of it.
As previously discussed on the last part when we talked about the artwork and stuff, this is from another one of the artists that were present during that weekend. And yet again, another favorite piece of art that I like.
Like I said, dude, I love this artwork, dude. This shit looks so fucking cute. I just want to snuggle the fuck out of it.
To sum up this part, this is another safety violation for a lot of people out there. So this dude right here was talking about how he wants to get blasted in the face with a t-shirt cannon, which, by the way, is against policies and is very fucking dangerous. So, yeah, this one, this one was the most stupidest thing, but at least he did get called out by the organizers for it, because it's unhinged behavior.
Don't want us to really hit you? Okay. He asked. He asked, but we are not shooting a t-shirt cannon at someone.
Oh, damn!
Yes, I am here. But like, following harm is kind of not recommended. Oh, sorry, kid. Well, very raging.
The whole time during the concert when we were setting up, we ended up dealing with like numerous technical difficulties. It took us probably like 10 to 20 minutes for the concert to actually start, maybe even longer. So I decided to say some dumb shit when I was at the event, and I didn't think I was going to get a response with what I said, but this has to be one of the most goldest moments that I've ever done.
Luna's best princess!
Yes!
I thought they were actually getting ready. I'm like, shit.
Now, to be fair, this has to be one of the most random moments that the camera was running. We were yet again having more technical difficulties, and we were still trying to get things set up. And one of the staff members decided to drop the S-bomb in the middle of it, which I've never heard any of these organizers cuss before, so this was actually a fucking rare once-in-a-lifetime opportunity of catching this.
Whoa, one of the staff members just cussed over here. All I heard was a staff member over here just yell, "Oh shit." If only Nicole was here, dude.
The reason I said that is because she was a guest of honor in 2022, where that year was by far the worst year I've ever had in all these conventions. That was the year where everything went to shit, and I was really looking forward to the one-on-one experiences with a retiree, but Some things had happened, I will just say that, and I was extremely disappointed the entire weekend I was there, to the point where not only was I dealing with law enforcement, my nana passing away, a car that was going through parts every week, you know, the delivery service not paying out good money. The 2022 convention was just not the greatest year in my books, and I wasn't ready to come back to Nostalgia Edition the following year, so I ended up leaving to Seattle. When she was in Seattle in 2023, she was available there for a one-day appearance, and I did have the opportunities of talking to her during the VIP events. Keep in mind that this is the first ever time in Seattle where I was invited to these VIP events. I didn't even know I could talk to these celebrities, and I fucked up not only the opportunity in 2022, but I didn't know that I can hang around these celebrities and, you know, have drinks with them and discuss things. And by the time that I started hanging around with both Bill Newton and Anna Sani, it was already far too late. And yeah, it just is what it is.
You know, I had the opportunity of talking to her during the bowling alley last year in Seattle. I didn't even know what the fuck I was supposed to do. I didn't even know I could talk to these people until, like, I started hanging around with Jenna Warren and Anna Sani, and we started talking about, like, I don't know, we just had a good time. And Nicole was a one-day appearance, and, well, I fucked up that opportunity last year. Grove Street home.
At least it was before I fucked everything up.
Do some extra footage, some extra B-roll, and just hope things go well today at the closing ceremony.
You guys remember how I talked about I usually get up at like 5 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, go shoot some extra photography, videography, whatever, before the events take off, so that way, you know, you get an extra advantage of seeing some extra angles from different locations. This is literally what I was talking about. I believe it was like 5 o'clock in the morning when I was shooting a good majority of this, and surprisingly, a lot of the Regency SFO janitors had actually beaten me to the extra B-roll footage, but for some reason, they weren't bothering me with the recording, so at least we still got away clean with at least taking some extra photos, videos, etc.
As you can see, that some of our B-roll might be interrupted. There's some early morning janitors that are doing their things, and probably some early workers, but I'll try to see what I can film. Of course, here's the Van Hoover party room. Means if I can remember correctly, this is where Everfree Northwest held theirs. The people in Seattle that we visited last year with all the Netflix people. This right here is where the private event took place with Andrea Libman and Ellie Ray. As you see, it says private event. Luckily this year, we got to have drinks and dinner with Andrea Libman and Ellie Ray.
This was exactly the same area, by the way, 3 years ago, where I had gotten, unfortunately, pissed off. Because I was hopeful for a lot of things, you know, after dealing with just a huge amount of rough activity of bullshit in my own state. And unfortunately, I didn't see any of the celebrities, and there was a little bit of misinformation that was provided, which also concluded with all of the unneeded aggression, if you will, from 3 years ago, which yet again I will apologize for. I was a shithead 3 years ago, and I do completely own up to every single thing I said and did 3 years ago. At least we had a way better year this year, and that's all that mattered.
It actually happened in this area, and it wasn't a big misconstrued situation from what happened a few years ago. And yeah, man, imagine having drinks with the voice actor for Pinkie Pie and Fluttershy in this same exact area. These are the people we went to last year when we hooked up with all the Netflix celebrities and everything, when we ended up having dinner with Jenna Warren and Anna Sani, and Tabitha St. Germain ended up making a surprise return after years when she talked about, oh, I don't know if I'm coming to any more venues, and then she randomly showed up as a mystery guest of honor last year. We had some good drinks with these people during the weekend.
Holy fucking shit, dude. It actually happened.
And one of the guys that was at this event yesterday, he was a fucking nutcase. He was literally talking about how he wanted to get shot in the face with a t-shirt cannon. And the executives were like, no, we can't do that. That's too much blood and a lawsuit on our hands, which reasonably so. The guy's an idiot, but at the same time, you know, if you want to get blasted with a t-shirt cannon, do that on your own free time when you don't have kids and an event that's already going through enough, you know, BS to deal with. We don't need adding the hospital bills to that list, please. She wasn't here at this year's event, but imagine if she was. And then we have Nicole Oliver, Brian Shua, Devin Dalton, Vincent Tong, Jillian Barrow. Man, one of the things that I recently learned about this is there is some disgusting ass people in today's society that take a photo of somebody's product behind these doors and then they turn around and illegally sell the item for an illegal profit, sometimes without the freaking consent of their original, you know, content creator or artist, and they make money illegally off of the items. And I didn't even know that that was a thing. I didn't even know we had some disgusting ass forgery type stuff that goes on where people are forging illegal copies of other people's artwork and then turning around and selling them as a profit. So all I gotta say is, you know, I was in the wrong and these people were right. And I didn't even know that that was a fucking thing a couple years ago. And I wanted to say, you know, even though I did some dumb shit 2 years ago, I wanted to, you know, give some props for them pointing that out, because I didn't even know that that was a fucking thing, that people do some disgusting ass, forgery ass crap like that. I just struck some gold while I'm over here filming. But yeah, this is where they added a photography room recently. Don't know how long ago, but I'm guessing this is pretty new as well.
To my knowledge, and I could be wrong, I wasn't present for 23, so this could have been installed in 2023 when I was off in Seattle for 5 days, because I wasn't, you know, ready to come back. But to my knowledge, this does look like a new area that was not covered in my 2022 video, or even I'm aware of in 2022.
This is what I was talking about earlier at the section at the Sand Pebbles. Was this. These were at the Sand Pebbles a few years ago when we were here last time. Imagine drinking like a steaming hot coffee and then like somebody turns into Tourette's guy.
The one downside I will say about the hotel is it's not like the Regency Bellevue where you can get up and get like a cup of complimentary coffee free of charge. This one, you actually had to pay for it at the bistro that's connected to the property, which I will say is a huge downside, especially for like if you're in a hurry to get the fuck out of the place and you're tired as shit and you have to pay for your cup while standing in line. That's one of the downsides that I didn't like about this event. But you know, the rest of it was still good. That's not. We'll just leave aside the flaws that the restaurant that's inside the hotel itself has some stuff that needs to be adjusted. But the rest of the event was actually pretty freaking fire.
Fuck! It's hot! Fuck you, you piece of... Fuck you, you piece of shit! Suck my cock!
And Flim and Flam, one of the two, and usually I don't follow for villainy. Flim and Flam basically stated that New Mexico isn't a real state.
And you know what? Flim or Flam, whoever it is, they're both twins. They were 100% correct that New Mexico isn't a real state. Apparently, this state is getting worse by the day. And if you thought living in Florida was bad, let me give you a little rundown. The governor in this state is fucking useless. There is state police officers that are trafficking meth and child porn and causing DWI charges. Matter of fact, a sergeant of the New Mexico State Police was found guilty of DWI fraud about a month ago. And there was like, I think like 8 other police officers that were found guilty of the same thing as well. And then when we had the situation with the active shooting that took place, KRQE News 13 was pointing the fingers at the management and saying that it's their fault and not the stupid motherfucker who brought in a stolen Glock and shot the place up. And let's also put it this way. I've had 2 separate mechanics try to destabilize one single vehicle that a family mechanic with more profession than those at a fucking Brake Masters is repairing the fuck-ups that they've done. In his own goddamn backyard. And you know what's worse is apparently this state is 47th in crime, 50th in education, and from what I've seen, just a lot of people like to beat their kids in this state. So you know what? They were right. So yeah, Flim and Flam, they were both right. This state is full of fucking clowns.
And I agree, because New Mexico is full of absolutely degenerate, retarded ass people. Exactly 1 week after I had got back from being in Seattle for 5-6 days and having dinner with Jenna Warren and meeting all these Netflix celebrities and having a good time and seeing Tabitha St. Germain and Nicole Oliver, a co-worker's car had gotten stolen at the job site. Not even a week back from meeting all these Hasbro and Netflix and My Little Pony voice actors. And some dumbass decided to pull the limits right back on the first week when I got back in state. So yeah, Flim and Flam, or Flim or Flam, whoever it is, you know, like I said, I don't follow much for villainy, but that's probably the only time that they were correct that New Mexico isn't a real state. That state is for fucking clowns and retards. All the stuff that I did this year to try to get this event back up on its feet, just to figure that next year's the final year for these people.
I'm just gonna give a fair warning. There was some aggressive energy that came out on this next part. When we went through Arizona again, we didn't deal with a 2-hour delay, but instead we dealt with a 6-hour missing luggage. And believe me, I was fucking pissed. I nearly thought I lost all of my shit except for the autographs and the collectible.
That's right. They can kiss my ass, because they ain't fucking getting this. Unbelievable. 6 hours for one suitcase to be rerouted. You know what? I'm gonna say some foul words, and if anybody doesn't like what I gotta say, fuck you. Fuck all you bitches! You're all a bunch of child molesters anyways.